Hello and a very good
Hey
evening.
everyone.
Hello, this is the episode
Episode
9 of
9.
Beacon Live
Yeah.
Sessions. My mind blanked out for a while. It's like, how many sessions have there already been?
Yeah.
And it's episode 9. It is the week of Christmas. Time really, really flies. And we're so happy that you have decided to join us tonight. Do share this video with your friends right now so that we can have more people joining us. This is going to be almost like a Christmas
Yeah.
special. Yeah, of
Yeah.
Christmas tunes and a lot of stories to share with you today.
And it's really special for us as well because we invited two special guests that, personally for me, I've never gotten to make music with them before. So it's going to be a first for me as well. So I'm really excited and we're going to introduce them slightly later on. And let's jump into the comments and see who's here bright and early with us. We have Jazzy. Hey, Jazzy from the
Hey,
US.
Jazzy.
It's got to be really early where you are, probably 8
Yes.
a.m. So thank you
Good
so
morning.
much. Yeah, good morning. And we have Eric. Nice to see you, Eric.
Yes, thanks for tagging your friends in the comments. I hope that your friends Tyne Lin and Jen Jen are gonna join us. And I recognize these names. I've seen you guys on Class 95, I think, during the
wow.
show. So yeah, thank you for still following us. And we're glad that you're here to join us. Yes, Jen Jen is here to enjoy the music. And I want to say a good evening to Chris.
Hey,
Chris
Chris.
Chua. He has greetings for Daniel Chai, Christine Sham, and the both of us. Thank you, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Our wonderful, kind sponsor for the Beacon Live sessions. Thank you for supporting us. And this next person we want to say hi to is Fernando. Hello.
Hey, Fernando.
Yes.
Yeah, and those of you who are watching from outside of Singapore, do let us know where you're watching from. And it's just been so amazing that we're able to live stream and reach, a bigger audience than if we had a
Yeah.
local, show.
And also hi to those who are watching even after the live stream has ended. That's the beautiful thing about YouTube Live, that this stream will still get to be on YouTube even after the live stream ends. So continue sharing this with your friends, and we hope you enjoy the music and the stories tonight. Chris says, looking forward to an anointed evening. Amen. We're looking forward to. Daniel Koo says, hi from Penang.
Hey, wow.
Hello.
Wow.
I love the food in Penang. I really cannot wait till we get to travel there again. Daniel has never been to Penang.
No. So I'm looking forward. We used to go to JB every week, to relax and have good food. So
Yes.
yeah, that's something that is severely missing.
Yeah, we hope everyone's staying safe in Malaysia. And Rico is tuning in from Tokyo.
Wow.
Amazing. And Fernando is from Bolivia. Wow.
This is really, really amazing. So thank you so much for following this live stream and
Yes.
hope that you'll be blessed by the music and the sharing from our special guest. And we have Jennifer.
Saying thank you for the lovely music. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Thank you. More to come. Daniel says, come soon. Oh, you must come. Yes.
Definitely. I can't wait. And even for Japan, we're supposed to be in Japan.
Yeah, we were
earlier
supposed to
this
visit.
April. We're supposed to attend and perform at a friend's wedding and then go for a nice holiday, but that didn't happen. So we just can't wait to travel again.
Okay, we'll
But
postpone
we're
that till it's
yeah.
safer to do so.
definitely happy being here as well. So tonight, we decided we're gonna share some Christmas songs that are
Yes.
meaningful and special to us as well. Before inviting our special guests on.
Yes.
So maybe you want to introduce the first song.
Yeah, so this first song that we're going to do is a Christmas song that I wrote, and this is called Christmas in My City, because I realized that there's a lot of Christmas songs that, talk about things that don't happen in Singapore, like winter and snow and, mistletoes and things like that. So I decided to write one that's more localized. And, at the end of the song, it talks about Christmas isn't about all these fancy things or the bright lights and things like that. It's about the people that you keep around you, and also it's about love that came down for us. So here we go. This is called Christmas in My City. All dressed up with nowhere to go. It's all rain instead of snow. I'm watching all the cars go by. People sing off fireplaces, cocoa on a chilly night. But what about my equatorial plight? Christmas in my city, warm and wet as it might be. It's not a winter wonderland, but we can play pretend. Walk into a mall and it'll be 10 degrees. Oh, I love Christmas in my city, commercialized as it might be. We'll complain about the lights making Orchard bright. It's a very Singaporean Christmas. And even though I've never put up a tree, I still have my presents all around me. I don't need a mistletoe, I'm happy with a warble on me. So though, oh, I love Christmas in my city. Cynical as we might be, it's not about how much you're worth, it's who you have to love. I wish you would agree. And even though I've never put up a tree, I still have my presents all around me. I don't need a mistletoe, I'm happy with a warble on me. So though I love Christmas in my city, cynical as we might be, it's not about how much you're worth, it's who you have to love. I wish you would agree. I wish you would agree. I wish you would agree. Thank you. Christmas in My City, a song of mine. If you like that, that's available everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music. You can go and check it out. And I hope you like the lyrics. I hope this is my little tribute to Christmases in Singapore. And of course, Daniel Chia on keys. Yay. Thank you. We have a few comments. Thank you so much. Hi guys, lovely sounding. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Rico. I know Rico has been doing a lot of wonderful things, like using my music to put it to scenes that she captures in Tokyo.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's beautiful whenever she tags me in that. Thank you so much, Rico. I appreciate that very, very much. It feels like even though I can't travel to Japan, the music still takes me there. So thank you. We have Michelle tuning in. Hey, Michelle.
Michelle.
She was a past guest on this show as well. And she's an amazing keyboardist who I think recently put out a single, is that right? Or something that's coming out soon. Michelle, please let us know in the comments so that we can share it with all the friends
link
here.
As well.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Don't be shy.
Oh, thank you so much, Chris, for your virtual applause. Thank you. Lovely composition. Thank you so much. I'm glad you liked it. Josephine Wang says, "Nice. I like the miso. I do too." With the weather like this in December, I always like a warm bowl of noodles, hot soup, and miso always does the trick for me. So, yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Okay, and I think I will do a song now.
Yeah.
But hopefully it will be okay because I lost track of time and I ate so much for dinner. So I'm still letting
Reeling
it digest.
from it.
Yeah, but I want to play this song that is, something that always reminds me of Christmas. And it's called Oh Holy Night. And, I think the amazing thing about Christmas songs is, I think Christians or non-Christians alike, recognize these melodies.
Yes.
And for so many years, but hopefully, this time, I'm going to do it instrumental, but, if you guys want, on your computer or on your phone, you can pull up the lyrics and follow the
Sing along.
lyrics, because it's just so meaningful. And these songs are hundreds of years old and they're still so relevant for us today. So I'm going to share with you guys a instrumental version of Oh Holy Night, and I hope you guys enjoy this.
amazing.
Thank you so much. Wow, I
Yay.
held in my food throughout the whole time. Yeah,
It would be scary if you didn't.
yeah. Usually I try not to eat so much before I play the saxophone. I totally forgot I had to play at the start of the show. I even ate some of her leftovers. So, but it's all good.
My
I
goodness.
feel warmed up now.
That's good.
So thank you so much. That was actually it sounded pretty close. That backing track sounded pretty close to
Like
the
the Mariah Carey
version,
one,
right?
yeah.
That's why I liked it. Something a bit
Yeah.
more lively.
Yeah, and
and-
gospel-y, really, really
Yeah.
beautiful. So we have some people who are saying hi. I would like to say hi to you guys as well. Mr. Heng, thank you for
Hi, Mr.
joining us
Heng.
and also for coming to the live show at the
Mm.
Esplanade Outdoor Theatre on Sunday night. I really appreciate
Yeah.
that. I want to say hi to Daryl as well. Daryl's here every single episode. And you're right, it's 3 days to Christmas. That is
Wow.
insane. 2020 has really flown by.
Yeah.
Like, it's really unlike any other year. Every other year feels fast, but not like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you to Chris. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
your
Chris.
applause. Thank you, Rico.
Thanks, Rico.
Great saxophone.
Thank you. He's just saying the saxophone is good.
Yeah, not the saxophonist.
It is. It is really good. Yeah.
Funny. Yay. Awesome. Thank you, Daryl,
Thank
for
you,
your kind
Daryl.
words. And thank you to Mr. Heng again. Yin says, hi, red, bright, and cheery. Yes, since it's going to be Christmas soon, I thought I would dress in Christmas colors.
Yeah, I definitely
is
didn't
red.
get the memo.
It's okay. It's in the
our,
heart.
our special guest didn't get the memo as well.
It's in the heart.
Yeah.
Oh, so wonderful. And thank
Thank
you
you,
all for
Yin. Nice
joining
to see
us,
you.
watching this show right now. Chris is clarifying. No, I mean the player too.
Thank you so much, Chris. Must clarify. Yeah. Because a lot of people always say, your saxophone is so good. And it's like, yeah, it is. But yeah, hopefully.
sometimes- yeah, people be, oh, you sing so well. What's the mic that you are using? Or like, oh, you take such great photos. What's the camera
Yeah,
you're using?
yeah.
Right?
But it's
But
okay.
it's funny. It's all
Yeah,
good.
it's
We
all
let it
good.
roll off our backs. So I think now will be a really good time to bring up our first special guest. I'd like to do a short little introduction before we bring her on. We have Christine Sham, who is going to join us today, and she has toured with some of the biggest names in the Chinese pop industry. You would have heard of at least some of them. Ame, Stephanie Sun, Eric Moo, Angela Zhang, David Tao. She's played in over 40 cities in China and as far-flung as UK, USA, Canada, and so on. Really amazing. We're so blessed to have her here today. And I know that, she's just done like a 3-hour masterclass over the last 2 days. So we're really blessed to have her here to play some music and, of course, to share her story as well. So without further ado, we'd like to invite Christine. Yay. Thank you for joining us. We did not plan this. Yeah, we had a wonderful fellowship over dinner, that's why.
Hello.
We make sure we're all still
Yay.
in frame.
Hello, everybody.
Yay, hello,
Hello,
Christine.
Daniel. Thanks for
Yes.
having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
Yes.
I know it's a busy period for everyone. I think, we're gonna talk about it later. How the year has been, but I think December for you, I know has been really, really busy. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're looking forward to hearing also your stories and your journey, and then play music together, which is
Yes.
always great.
Yes.
So yeah, maybe I can start things off. For Christine, were you always a Christian? You grew up.
Yes, I grew up in. Where do I look actually? Do I look at you or do I look at the camera?
Both?
Yeah.
Oh, not the TV, right? Sorry. Yeah. I'm very
Definitely not
impromptu.
the TV. I think camera. Also
Yeah.
we can all look at the camera.
Yeah, I don't want to be
Yeah.
looking like at the
Yeah.
wrong place. Yeah, so I am a Christian, growing up in a Christian household, and in fact, my dad became a pastor during my high school. So I actually grew up in the church. Yes, so I've pretty much been a church girl.
Wonderful. Did you
But-
start playing music because of church as well, or how did your music education begin?
Actually, I learned the piano when I was 4. My mom sent me for lessons, and I actually started playing the church pretty early because we were in a Chinese church, and there was no music. It was quite a Baptist church, and it was just plain singing. So my dad said, I was very young then. He said, why don't you go and, my dad was kind of like the senior there. So he's like, why don't you go and play some piano, play the melody or something? I'm like,
Wonderful.
just the melody? He's like, yeah, it's better than no one playing. So that's how I started. As a little girl, I played the melody of the hymns and stuff. And then later on, I used two hands, yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
So I started quite young, and that helped me become like, good at playing in the public, I guess. Yeah.
I think quite similar to me in terms of piano, also, not just because of church, but I got a chance to play something more than just classical music because of, my church, we used to just play hymns mainly. But, I thought it was good, and I just figured out how to transfer the classical knowledge. And I think from playing those, some hill songs, some hymns,
Were
really
you a
helped.
pianist first before you became a saxophonist?
Yeah,
No
pianist
wonder your,
first,
your
yeah.
piano is solid. Your technique is
Thank
awesome.
you. I do it just for to support
To support your wife.
Yeah, so that's the
So
main.
kind of
She's
you.
my main hirer, so I take things for granted sometimes. But yeah, so I think that was a nice way to be able to just play every week and venture out of classical music. And I think even up to today, you're still serving in church in
Yes.
New Creation, right?
Yes. Well, long story. Actually, stopped going to church for a while. I mean, after I went over to the States to study. Yeah, maybe later on we can get into that,
Yeah,
like
we
our
should. Yeah.
our journey.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm back. Oh, I'm so glad I'm back.
God.
I'm
Praise
back in
God.
action. Yeah, praise God. I'm serving in New Creation Church now. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I think we all have our own ups
Story.
and downs in our
Yeah.
journeys. Yeah. So, since you mentioned Berkeley, was that something you always wanted to do? To study music.
Yes. Well, when I was growing up in Sabah and KK, you kind of like look to your music mentors to see where did they go. Maybe I should go there too. I didn't really have a music mentor because I was in a very ulu part of Malaysia. But I did have some people that I looked up to. They were from KL. They're Jenny Chin and Mac Chu. So I thought that they went to Berkeley, and I thought, I probably have to go there too. That's how I decided I wanted to go there. And it's like I'm probably like the first Sabahan that went to Berkeley.
Wow.
Probably,
Milestone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you studied music production, right? Or-
No, I did not. I studied something called professional music. So what happens is I wanted to study film scoring. I've always been interested in visuals and doing music to visuals. So I wanted to study film scoring. But when I went there, I realized that I don't have enough money because there's hidden costs. There's some lab fees here and there.
Right.
So I realized that I brought exactly the amount that I thought I needed, and then I don't have more.
Yeah.
So I actually changed my
Major.
yeah. I was actually quite disappointed when I went there. So, I can't study film scoring.
Right.
But never mind. I studied something else. Like it's called professional music, where you can mix two studies together. I mixed performance and arranging.
I see.
It's not a dual major, but you kind of can do a bit of both. And then when I came back to Asia, I still managed to do film scoring. So I
that's
managed by joining a company, a post production house, and learning from experience. So I still managed to do that in the end.
It's wonderful that
Praise
even
God,
though
yeah.
things didn't turn out the way you wanted
Yeah,
to
you
at
still-
the beginning,
Yeah.
yes, you found a way to
still-
make it work.
Yeah.
And probably, on hindsight, maybe it might even have been better. Because, I mean, if you only did film scoring for that many years, when you come back,
That's
I'm not
true.
sure if,
Yeah.
you'll be able to get as many opportunities. And you may not even have ventured out of that
Right,
world
right.
after
Because
that.
when I graduated, because I didn't study film scoring, I cannot say I want to become a film scorer because I didn't study that. So I thought, okay, so what am I going to do when I graduate? I think
Yeah.
I'm going to become an arranger. That's what I told myself, which I eventually did, but I wasn't really focusing on that so much. But the point is, if you're meant to do something, you will do it. Doesn't matter what obstacle or what distraction happen, if you're meant to do it, you will shine at that area. You know, you
Yeah.
you will.
I love that spirit. Yeah, especially in times of 2020, right? I'm sure a lot of people's plans have been disrupted. So I mean, Christine is a living, breathing example of even though things might not have gone your way the first time, if you want to make it work, there is a way if you have the attitude towards it.
Right.
Yeah.
And as we know, as a musician, and 2020 has proven to us, if you only perform as your primary income source, it's going to be a bit challenging. And for me, I was fortunate because I went to LA to record my album. And one thing that struck me was that every single musician was also a producer, could also
Yes.
mix, they just had all that skill set because maybe in LA it's a bit more competitive. So, and they all had their skill set. So the first thing I came back, I was like, okay, I need to learn how to at least record my own saxophone, lay down a track, basic mixing. So, and, I'm really glad I spent time on that,
Awesome,
so
yeah.
we can, especially this year, do so much more work in the studio. Also, just for us is to not let people boss us around, at least we
Yeah.
know a bit of stuff, and when we go out, even like, at live gigs with the engineers, at least we know what we're
How to-
talking
yes,
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I'm sure those skills have been very, very useful for you over these years, and especially leading to this year where live performance have almost
Right.
totally wiped out. So was that how did you find this year, and how did it evolve for you?
Actually, when I came to Singapore, which was a long time ago, my main point was that I want to work in a studio where I could score for visual. That means I was actually a composer mainly. I didn't come here to play gigs or concerts. So my main goal was to work in the studio with visuals and all that. And so that was my my thing for a while. But I think not many people know that, because once you play for concerts, it's very glamorous. People see, wow, you're traveling, you do that for this artist and for that artist. People usually notice when you're on tour. Yeah, people don't notice that when you're behind the scenes, like working on a movie for the longest, and the movie's out, then they watch the movie and they don't see the credits, they will walk out.
That's true. They always roll by so quickly, right? Yeah.
Right, so most people see the glamorous part, which is the touring, which I have done. It was an up and down thing. At first, when I started, actually my first gig was when I was still studying in the States. And my first concert gig was with this artist called Zhou Huiming, Vivian Chow. She's from Hong Kong, and my first gig with her was at Las Vegas. Yeah, I was still studying that time, and I was paid the concert rate and all that. It was really happening for me because as a student, you get to fly to Vegas and do the show. I was like, whoa, it was happening. So when I came to Singapore, I had that in my resume, but then I still got, after a few years of composing, I still got the chance to meet with all the legendary music directors and musicians in Singapore, and then they've invited me to play for concerts. Yeah, so that's how I started to do the concert thing. But it was an up and down journey. So in the first few years, there was quite a lot of gigs, and then it died down. Like for 3 years or 5 years even, I had no tours.
Right.
So I had to focus even more on my jingle writing and film writing. And that time, I think I haven't even started teaching, because my teaching career started like just 10 years ago. Oh, I'm revealing more and more about my age.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right, of course. Then, so lately, this few years, I've been touring a lot again. So there's a season, So you still have to diversify. Doesn't mean that you're a touring musician means every year you're touring. There will be sometimes you just don't know why. There's just no tours or didn't hit the right season. So this year is supposed to be a very packed year. The past 2 years has been. It's supposed to be away almost every weekend.
Wow.
So I can count how many weekends I have in Singapore. Maybe like 4 or 5 weekends for the whole year. Yeah, the rest is just traveling. So when the pandemic hit, we were still hopeful that I think maybe by August or October, maybe we'll resume our tours. But it's still a big chunk of it. You're not working.
Yeah.
So I was like thinking, okay, so what am I gonna do? I'm sure a lot of people thought about that. Yeah. So but good thing. I really, by God's grace, I really found another way. Some other production work, writing work, and I was able to get be very busy during the circuit breaker. I was actually working very hard every day at home on the computer, but it was very fulfilling.
That's wonderful to
Yeah,
hear.
so I was so glad that I was able to do what I love to do, and what I have not the chance to pursue if I were touring, because I would be too busy to do it.
Yeah.
So I had the chance to write library music and to work on some film, and
Yes.
stuff. Yeah, it was very fulfilling.
Yeah, that's wonderful
Yeah.
to hear. And it feels like, the seasonal nature of the touring industry for musicians already kind of almost prepped you for this season of lows or for 2020 in terms of touring dates anyway. So it's really wonderful to hear, how you've really embraced that season of this particular season that we're still in of, doing the things that you might not have gotten to do if you were out on tours every weekend.
Yeah, on hindsight, I think like that. Yeah, yeah. But it's like that. I mean, whatever gigs we have, and we may feel very high, especially if you're traveling every. I mean, no pun intended. Like you're actually flying you're
Yeah.
really high in the clouds, and then you come back and you fly again. It's very hard to feel grounded. Grounded meaning like, hey, this is temporary. Okay, we're not
Right.
like flying all this time like a jet star.
Yeah.
So yeah. So there are times where sometimes things are just taken away like suddenly, and then you feel like, hey, okay, I'm still anchored.
Yeah.
Why am I still anchored? Because my faith anchors me.
Oh,
Yeah.
really thank God for that. Yeah.
And I think, as, freelancers, we're our own boss, do you feel like, your faith has helped you, especially, when, we have, so-called irregular paychecks, we go from gig to gig and project to project, do you feel like that uncertainty sometimes?
Yes, I mean, I've been a freelancer for many years. So sometimes I feel like, hey, this is very good. I'm doing better than my friends who have a fixed pay, because I'm free to do even more things after I've finished my work.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes it's okay, sometimes a bit less, but it's a choice you've made to be a freelancer, that you don't have a fix. Sometimes it's even more, sometimes it's less. It doesn't matter. We can still survive. But one thing I really want to testify is the giving of tithes. Yeah. So a lot of times we were like, let me just pay all my bills first and see what's left. Then I will tithe, because
Yeah.
that's what I have left. But I would have to confess, only recently I have been doing this very faithfully. Like, just, okay, I'm going to set aside my 10% first,
Yeah.
because that's God's produce. It's I give it to Him first, and then surely there will be enough for me.
Yeah.
And once I adopted that that habit, that lifestyle,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just really great. It's just
Yeah.
faith. You put it there first, and then more and more jobs will come. That's what's happened for me.
Yeah.
So that's
Praise
As a
God.
freelancer, sometimes it's
Yeah,
really
we feel the
tough.
pain, we feel the
Yeah.
pinch.
Especially, if it's a quiet month, and then
Then
you'll be
you're like,
thinking,
"Oh,
and if
still."
you know
Yeah.
next month is going to be even
Yeah, I need to
quieter,
save
and you're
up,
like,
I need to save
Yeah.
aside, right?
and then
Yeah.
sometimes, for me, so sometimes I wouldn't say I have done it, but like that thought passes by. It's like, okay, can I look at the accounting a different way?
Yeah.
10% of what? Revenue or profit, and my
Yeah.
car needs to be paid. I mean,
Yeah.
those thoughts
Right.
pass in like 3
Yes.
seconds, but I run through all the scenarios in my head, but then I think eventually I always get reminded that, all these were not ours in the first
In the
place.
first
And don't
place.
try to
Exactly.
like
Right,
use
right.
some, method to go around the
Yes, yes,
situation.
yes.
But definitely I think for freelancers, and not just musicians, I think anyone who is doing work that is a more, erratic,
Yeah.
I think that's a very good reminder.
Yeah.
On
For
that
us
note, also, after this whole pandemic happened and our income was drastically reduced, right? It really challenged me with my faith in, tithing is easy when, times are good and you're able to do it. But when times are bad, like, does your security come in the money in your bank account? Does it come in the form of that next paycheck? Or does it come in the form of God and His promises to you? So this was really my struggle this year. And I'm glad you brought it up. And to anyone who can relate to this, know that God has plans to prosper and not to harm you. So yeah, we really encourage you to really just take that step of faith and to give to God what belongs to Him. Yeah. And you know, He'll take care of us.
And I remember
that's right.
during circuit break, probably after circuit breaker, you know, when we still had a studio space at Turf City, you know, we walked past this booth where they were asking us to give monthly donations for people who need
Yes.
food and groceries.
Yes.
And I was just like thinking, wow, of all times, it's like, and they are asking us to support, you know, but
Yeah.
I think in the end we did give
We
a
did,
small amount, but it was tough, you know, when we were like, okay, should we think of ourselves first? You know, when my gigs come back,
Then
I'll
then
donate,
I'll
you
come
know.
back, you
Yeah.
know. But I think at that point we just stopped there and talked to them, and we were like, I think there are probably other people who really need it,
Need it
you know.
more,
And we didn't give a
yes.
lot, you know, but still it's a good
Yeah, it's not the
thought
amount.
exercise. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, on a good year, no problem, you know,
Yeah,
close
yeah,
one eye, you
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah.
I think that was tricky, you know, like
Yeah.
post circuit breaker, and people are out asking for donations, which
Yeah.
that was difficult. But
Mm.
I think maybe now might be a good time for us to do our first song.
Oh, sure.
And which song would you like to do
Oh.
first?
Let's get so any song would do, right?
Yeah, any song.
Okay. Why don't we do a Christmas carol? Why don't we
Sure.
get Pacey to sing
Hark the herald angels sing. Oh.
which song is okay, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Sure.
Cool.
Should we
Yeah. And why, you know, why did you choose this song?
Okay. At first, I wanted to. Well, it's Christmas. We're definitely doing some carols and all that.
Yes.
At first, I was like gonna like jazz it up, do something really fancy, and I had it in my head. I was not able to sleep. I was thinking of the arrangement, this chord, and all that. I thought about it for a few days, but I was very busy. I couldn't really put down the arrangement. And then suddenly, I felt now we're just going to do straightforward, very
Yes.
simple, because we want to ponder on the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's just want to sing some carols and maybe a worship song. Worship, and then just really simple for me. Yeah, nothing fancy and
Yeah, I
And
agree with that.
Since we're gonna be doing our first song, we're gonna also invite our second special guest to come on and play music
Come
with
on,
us
Daniel
first
is
before
here.
we feature. So we have Daniel
Yes.
Chai.
How can I don't have
Guitar.
guitar?
Welcome, Daniel. And people always get very confused between your surnames,
Yeah.
Daniel Chai and Daniel Chia.
Yeah. I think for our friends in the US, you're gonna have a big headache.
We're happy to be
gonna
able to
step
play this
aside.
tune together called Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all in nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With angelic host proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Christ by highest heaven adored, Christ the everlasting Lord, late in time, behold him come, offspring of the Virgin's womb, veiled in flesh, the Godhead see, hail the incarnate deity, pleased with us in flesh to dwell, Jesus our Emmanuel. Hark the herald Hail the heaven-born Prince of Peace. Hail the Son of Righteousness. Light and life to all he brings. Risen with healing in his wings. Mild he lays his glory by. Born that we no more may die. Born to raise us from the earth. Born to give us second birth. Hark the herald angels sing. Glory to the newborn King. Hark the herald angels sing. Glory to the newborn King. Hark the herald angels sing. Glory to the newborn King. Hark the herald angels sing.
Love your voice.
Oh, thank you.
It's
I
my
love your playing.
First time playing with you, right?
Oh my goodness, that's true.
I mean, like in this intimate setting.
That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
really
it's so
enjoy that.
inspiring getting to play with the both of you. And I think we've played with each other in different settings, but in this like almost trio
Cozy,
setting, cozy
yeah.
setting is the first time,
First
and
time,
it's
right?
such a pleasure. Oh, so wonderful. Let me go to the comments. I think I see quite a lot of comments here. Let me highlight some of this. We have actually Jia Wei saying hi to Daniel Chia, saying hi from Tekong. Wow, Jia Wei, all the best. We have Acorn saying, "You guys gonna play some tunes?" Yes, let's go. That's what we just did. And Lucian says, "Hello, Daniel, Miss Lu, love you from Brazil. Thank you so much. Thank you." Daryl says, "Love this song. Wonderful." And I think it's so appropriate for the season. Thank you, Daryl, for your kind words. We have who else?
You have a lot of people
Amira?
from overseas, huh?
That's right. It's beautiful, right? I mean, the fact that even though we can't tour or travel or play music overseas, but somehow we still have the ability to connect with people
Good job.
because of this live stream. So it's really a blessing that
So
we
so
still
these
get
are
to do
your
this.
new
these are your
friends.
friends, right?
New friends.
Real
Or your
friends.
friends.
Fans and friends,
Friends
I
that you
guess.
know.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we've been doing this live streaming for the past how many months would you say? 9 months? Past 8-9 months? Yeah.
Wow,
So I
so
guess since then it's kind of built up some
Aw.
following, I guess. So we're very thankful for that. And also this space that we've had is a beautiful space, nice and cozy space that we get to
Yes.
make music out of and to send love and light out in there
Right.
into the world via this camera that's in front of us. That's the new normal, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yes, we have Yin saying, "Yeah, Christmas special." Yes, that's right. I hope you're enjoying the tunes that we're playing for you. We've done 3 Christmas tunes so far, and there will be more to come.
It's all Christmas songs, right?
Yes, all Christmas songs. So thank you for tuning in. If you know your friends and family are gonna enjoy the music tonight, go and share this link with them right now, and hopefully we'll get to be able to enjoy this music making together. Javier says, "Good morning." Wow, Javier must be from the other side of the globe. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. And Michelle, thank you so much for your applause. Yin says, "Cave." I mean, Cave is the other place we used to play music out of, and we miss it. But this is a beautiful, cozy space as well that we were blessed with, that we are trying to give back and, to make some music that uplifts spirits. And, especially in a time like 2020. If you're watching this from the future, we hope things are better, looking up for you. But we're still right now in the middle of the pandemic, and we really just want to try to do as much as we can as as individuals and as musicians to make sure things keep going and things keep looking up. We point people towards the source of the hope that we have. Yeah. So Liv, coming back from what we mentioned just now, like, is there what's the next song that you have for us, and why did you pick it?
Oh, okay. Then all my songs are just carols.
Carols,
Yeah.
yeah.
So because I just wanted both of you to play your instruments.
Oh.
Just want to play with you guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
thank
just,
you.
Yeah. So maybe we can play the next
We can.
carol, and we'll have like Daniel
Let's invite Daniel back.
to play the saxophone.
And this will be the first Noel.
Yeah. I'm going to be playing my soprano. I haven't touched this in like 6 months.
Wow.
But just suddenly, I don't know why, I just felt like the
Yay.
song might work well for this. And I just want to say hi to, just now I saw my friend Cole, Mr. Sexman from
Oh,
Thailand.
wow.
Thanks for being here, and I saw him sharing the video
Is that your
as
friend?
well.
Call me.
Yeah.
You know, I have a story. I know his music. You know how? Like
How?
10 years ago, I was I curate music for airlines. So yeah, I've used his music before for airlines like jazz instrumental. So
Wow.
his name looked familiar.
Yeah, I think
So
you
I've-
did
I've-
that
I've-
for like.
Yeah, for
I think SIA I've seen.
Yeah, SIA, Malaysian
Ah.
Airlines, and all that. So I used to work as a producer in-flight entertainment. So I've used his music before.
He's one of the
Yes, he's very
best
famous.
musicians,
Very
and
famous.
not just
Yeah.
in the whole of Thailand, but in Asia as well, and the US
Definitely.
as well.
I've known him
Nicest
since-
people, and it just happens that we are also, how would I say, business, associates in that sense, because we both own saxophone shops. So we
how
work
nice.
together on that capacity as well. I get to go up to Thailand a few times a year, and just the
How
best.
nice.
Yeah, just amazing. So hi, brother Cole. I hope to be able to play with you in person again. So I just wanted to shout out. And and Sam Kuna is here. He says, hi Payson and Daniel, good to check in with both of you and your two guests, Christine and Daniel. Love the Christmas carol. Thank you so much. So Sam is the dad of Crystal, who was on our second episode, great drummer. So thanks for coming back, Sam. And yes, we're gonna do this carol called the First Noel. So I hope you guys enjoy this.
you, Daniel. That was lovely. That was so sweet. Yeah.
That was so nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for
Enjoyed
calling
it.
that tune. You know, these are songs that I really grew up with, but
Oh, yeah,
probably
they're very
haven't-
old. Nothing fancy, but the good
Yeah.
old, traditional carols. Because I really miss caroling. I remember as kids, we would go around singing, but I don't get to do that anymore.
yeah,
So,
in my old church, we used to do it until past midnight.
Right.
Everyone's house. So
And then there's food to eat, right?
yes, that's what we definitely
the
look
best part.
forward to. But yeah, I don't think caroling is going to be coming back for
Oh,
Quite-
yes.
quite a while, especially with COVID,
Right,
But thank you so much for
Thank you.
choosing that song to
Yes. Mm-hmm.
present tonight. And let me jump back into the comments. Inghua, nice to see you. Thank you so much for your kind comments. And Edward, it says lovely after dinner music. And Edward, hope you are enjoying the Audio Technica in-ear headphones. Edward was at our Audio Technica live stream, and he won a pair of really, really nice wireless headphones. Yeah. And my dad is here. Thank
Oh,
you so
hi,
much. And Mr. Heng, thank you so much. Inghua, Daryl. My dad says the angels above might be singing along to that. Wow. Thank you so much. And Lucien from Brazil, thank you so much.
Wow.
Thanks for being at almost every single live stream. We really
Oh,
appreciate
cool.
that. Yeah, it's really cool. And something that I don't think I'm ever going to take for granted. You just never know who's watching. And, same thing when we thought of this idea, and we're so appreciative to Chris Chua for, believing in this idea also of just giving the platform for, musicians in our scene to share their stories as well. And, and about their faith. And, I was, of course, skeptical. And, maybe to share a bit for those of you who didn't know this story, I think very early on, probably like our second ever live stream, and it coincided with Good Friday. So we thought, okay, after first live stream, which was fun and everything, we thought, okay, let's do I think it was a Good Friday special, right, on Good Friday. And we were like, okay, if like 100+ people came for the first one, probably 30 for the Christian one, because it's definitely a smaller subset. But it's just crazy. There were like more than 400 people.
Wow.
And on YouTube, we were just floored by that. How God can use music to really reach more people. And I think maybe people were sharing with their cell groups and everything, and it was just mind blowing. So I guess that gave us confidence to do this series as well. And being a recorded live stream, and it will be on our my YouTube channel for
Right.
forever. So we never know who might listen to the songs or the sharing.
Right.
and
Did I
be-
tell you that one time when you had this first streaming going on, I think you were playing, oh no, not even Beacon yet. You were playing just some worshipful songs with another pianist.
Yes, I think
I was
you
just
mentioned.
scrolling. Yes, I was just scrolling, and I didn't have time to look on any live stream. I was busy churning out some deadlines. I was very stressed. But I stopped to listen to the songs a bit, and there was some praise and worship songs, and I listened to like a couple chorus, and I felt very peaceful, and I felt good that it was the little break that I need. Then I'm like, okay, I can't finish the whole show, but I stopped it. I was like, it felt good, and then I can continue my work and with more inspiration. So you really help someone, you
That's
don't know
amazing.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we also don't expect that people will spend the whole 1.5
time
hours or
watching,
2 hours, but you never know. Just that 1 30-second
They just-
snippet
yeah.
that they scroll on their phone,
Exactly.
So that's what keeps us going as well. To get the stories out, and we get inspired ourselves by listening to the stories of you guys. So definitely benefits us, and also hopefully for the rest who are watching to be just find hope. And we've had so many amazing guests, and their stories are just so incredible, and they've had people reach out to them as well, thanking them for sharing, because it also happened that they were going through similar situations. Because we're not here to show that we are perfect. Actually, for me, ironically, I'm here to share about all the imperfections that that still with God, He's got us through this year, and hopefully many more years. So we really appreciate your sharing. And maybe I want to jump in a bit on your journey as a Christian in this scene. And you're saying that there's been ups and downs. I think like maybe if you want to share a bit more about that.
I think When I was younger, I think Daniel, we'll get to you very soon.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
I'm
invited.
enjoying the list-
You know,
the-
we
the
invited
chat
him
and
up,
the-
and he's like, no one's talking to me. Well, just let you know that it's like, it says Christine Sham there. It's my segment right now. So it will, it will go to
Yeah.
you. Later it will be Daniel, and I'll be
Yes.
sitting here in the corner. I just didn't want my good friends. Daniel is a good friend of mine. So thank you for having us as a duo in this session. Also, we work very well because he know all my
Yeah.
jokes. Yeah, it's okay. He won't be angry. Yeah, so I just want to. There's something important that I learned recently in this past few years. Because when I was growing up, I think I didn't establish that relationship with Jesus. So it's more like I grew up in this Christian household. We go to church and everything, but I do not have that personal relationship. In a point, for example, I'll be like, Dad, Mom, can you pray for me so that my exams I can learn? Can you pray for me? Can you pray this for me? Because I think your prayers are more powerful because you guys are full time or something. So that indicates that I don't know God. I don't know Jesus. So I can't pray to him directly, or I don't know how to. If I did, it was very much a one-way conversation. So, and because of that, it's not stable, right? You're having a one-way conversation all this time, and you haven't allowed God to enter your heart and experience his love. So that's why I dropped out of church after, when I went back, or when I went to the States to study. Of course, I was like tempted with all these new things. So I went my own way and stuff. And then even after, when I came to Singapore to pursue a career here, I went to church like in and out, because it's I don't really have a church, in and out. But I would have this problem, this condemnation, because I didn't know the grace of God. So every time I would think that, okay, I'm going to church, and then I feel a bit bad because last night actually I went out very late, and then actually I was drinking. You have all these contemplate. You think that I'm not a good Christian. I have to become good, and then I'll be a good Christian, and then everything will be fine. But that's not the truth. The truth is, it's not by merit or by works. It's not about my performance that makes me, that makes things work. So after I understand the grace of God, that really changed my lifestyle, because it's not based on what good I did, or whether I was a good girl, or whether I was very righteous, because we are sinners, right? We are fallen short of glory of Christ. We will always be a sinner, but saved by the grace of God, and that's how we continue every day. And when I grasp and know that, it really changed my life. So I don't feel like, last night I went out with my friends. I too very late, actually, or you don't condemn yourself anymore. That's not your job. So yeah. So because of that, I as a Christian, my faith is strong. I would have to say that, because it's not based on what I did. It's based on what Jesus Christ has done on the cross, and his work is complete. Yeah. So with the knowledge of that, it really solidified everything for me. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And it's so relevant, we are all, musicians, and we know Saturday nights are probably one of the busiest
Yeah.
days. And after the gig, you want to hang out with your friends and go for
You're like,
supper.
tomorrow early church.
Exactly, and I feel some of that sometimes though, when I'm so sleepy when I go to church,
I
and
feel
then,
bad.
yeah, I feel bad. But I think that reminds me also of, we've talked about this before. Like, some people feel like, oh, I need to quit my smoking first. Then
I'll go to church.
Yeah, let me sort myself out first.
Correct.
But
That's
actually, I feel it's the other way around. If you feel that love of God, that might lead you to want to stop doing it. Because you feel His love and His presence with you. And it's like, you need to get fit before you sign up for the gym membership. It's the other way.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you
That's
should
good.
go and sign up first, and then you.
Yeah.
you
Then
know.
you learn how to eat
Yeah.
properly, and
Yeah, but
yeah, exactly.
no, thank you for sharing that. And it's not easy, and not many people wanna share that.
Oh, I'm very
'cause-
open.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because we all have our mistakes and all that, but yeah, you live forward, and this is an encouragement, because I know a lot of people are hunkered about their past. It's like, no, it's very shameful, this is what I did, I'm actually, I had some bad past. Everybody has, but there's no past that can't be forgiven, and we have hope in Jesus. That's why, I mean, this year we were talking about a lot of people with mental health issues and all that, because we don't have hope. It's looking dim. We don't have jobs. We don't have future. But in Jesus, we have hope, and that's where our hope comes from, and that's how we can go forward. Not knowing what's ahead yet, but faith and hope that brings me forward.
And I guess knowing that He won't, test us more than we can, bear in that sense. And hopefully, I mean, at the onset of all the gigs being cancelled, we know, there were musician friends, and other creatives, I'm sure, or even people with stable full-time jobs that were struggling with this, but I think for me, it reminded me, if I put all my worth in those gigs, then, how come I'm so, and that's probably the reason why I'm so easily shaken, if my worth is because of my, and when it's taken away, then I suddenly feel lost, and maybe, some people might have been feeling that, but hopefully, with over time, as we got to reflect, to realize like, okay, so 10 gigs and no gigs, what's the real difference there? I think it's really to help us to go by faith, because in Singapore, we were talking about this over dinner. I think, I feel like we are very well paid, compared to many other parts of the world. And sometimes it's very easy to take it for granted that, every Saturday, every, busy period, the gigs will naturally fill up, and I guess this year was a time to truly reflect on what we put our faith and, So thank you so much for sharing that. Is there anything else you want to, share before we go to the to your last song, and then we'll.
And then after that, I cannot talk anymore.
You can, of course. Yeah. That's why we paired you guys up also, so it'll be a
never mind. I
discussion.
think we'll. I shouldn't talk so much now, because everybody's like, we want to hear Daniel talk.
Okay, I enjoy listening. So you know me. Yeah. Okay.
Or maybe you can share with us why you chose this last song.
Oh, Waymaker. Well, in my church now, I got to learn a lot of new songs, because before I served in church, I was like going to church in and out, so I don't really know a lot of praise and worship songs. But this one, it says Waymaker. So God is a waymaker, a miracle worker, promise keeper. It doesn't, and it just goes on. Basically, He's our everything. All the answer is there. When you sing and you profess, I mean, even though your situation is dim, but when you profess and sing and you praise, things happen in the spiritual realm. So I feel that this song is great for us, especially at the turn of the year, to proclaim that God is our waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. So I just thought that it's a worshipful song that we can get pacing to lead us. Yeah, just praise atmosphere into this place.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And we're gonna move on to that song.
So for those who know this song, please sing along. And for those who don't, there is always Google. I believe you'll be blessed by this tune and the wonderful, beautiful lyrics. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, walking in this place. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, walking in this place. I worship you, I worship you. miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you, I worship you, 'cause you are Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are, you are, you are Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Yeah, yeah. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 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 You are, you are Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. Waymaker. And I think that is so true, especially in this year 2020, when all the roads happen to have, like, all the bridges out from where you are seem to have been cut off. Jesus has been there for us, and he has made a way for me specifically. I can speak from personal experience. Even though every single thing that you thought you knew, that was certain, that was sure, you know, he really is a way maker, and his promises are good. He is goodness himself. And you know, to those who haven't had the experience of getting to know Jesus, if you really want to just ask him, invite him into your heart today, I promise you he's gonna do amazing things. Like, I'm a living breathing example of that, and so are our guests today. And I'm so glad we got to do and praise God together with that beautiful tune called Waymaker. Such a privilege. So
Thank
good.
you for singing. Thank you
Oh.
for leading us.
Oh,
Yeah.
no problem.
That was good.
Thank you.
Really beautiful. Yeah.
All glory to God. Yeah, amazing. I mean, that experience, there's nothing like coming together to worship, you know, nothing stopping us from worshiping together. Yes.
Squeeze in.
Sorry.
here. No problem.
I'm gonna make space for you.
Yeah. So let's
Shall I
jump
delve into
the
the comments? We
before
actually had Javier. Thank you so
thank you,
much for sending us
Javier.
a super sticker. We really
Thank you so
appreciate that.
much.
And yeah, we love that, you know, you have decided to even spend your time here, because, you know, money can be earned back, right? But I know time is so precious that once you give it out, you can't take it back. Of course, we appreciate anything that you are, you know, you feel like contributing. So thank you for being here. And we want to go to William. Says, I wish there is a GIF where I wave my hand on beat with the song. That would be amazing. But you can do that in real life. You don't have to do it virtually, you know.
Yeah.
And Sam says, Amen. Indeed, he is. Yes.
Hi, Vinny.
Yes. Waymaker when there seems to be no way. Exactly. Even when we humanly cannot see it, you know, that is just our limited human perspective. Don't limit God with our own limitations, you know. Daryl says, indeed. Thank you. I'm glad you could relate to that song. And Roy says, he is all those and more. Amen. Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good way to sum up the year, you know, and we've all gotten through it, whether you like it or not. We are really at the end.
We are here,
so
yes.
hopefully, you know, everyone will have a time of reflection to see all the silver linings or the lessons learned this year. And, you know, I'm sure once we apply those takeaways, you know, into next year, you know, we will find a way to make it better, rather than, you know, I never really like to rely on external circumstances or hope that 2021 will get better. I think we just find our own way, and also, you know, of course, rely and trust that God will help us. But we also cannot just only pray
Yes,
and don't
exactly,
do
yes.
anything as well. So and now we've had our second special guest, Daniel Chai, on screen
for a while now.
for a while already. So he's no stranger to this stage, but maybe we can share a bit of his bio.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Chai is an amazing musician. I mean, just gonna read some of this. Like Christine, he has worked with so many big names: JJ Lin, Stephanie Sun, Kit Chan, Corinne May, Angela Chung. The list goes on. Amazing, beautiful artists, and also in bands for Singapore Idol. Don't forget the lyrics. Maybe you've seen his face before. If you find him familiar, maybe that's why. That's awesome. And on top of being a guitarist alone, just a guitarist, he has also produced, arranged, and written music for TV sitcoms and TV serials. And yeah, it's he also has a YouTube channel called Daniel's Room, and you can always check it out. His website is danielchaiguitar.com. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you, Daniel, for being here. And we're so honored because I think for both of you, you guys had a chance to work together before, but I haven't got the chance. And, you know, we actually, I think maybe last year we were planning on maybe doing some covers together or some videos.
we were. We spoke about it.
Yeah.
It was this year, right? Actually, we spoke.
Oh, was it
I
this
think
year?
Yeah,
I
sometime
can't
earlier
remember.
this year,
Yeah, and we
but
never
it
got
never
down to it,
materialized,
but
yeah.
somehow, you know, this is a lot better because it's live and we get to make music together and also hear your stories. You know,
Yeah.
for me, I've known about you for many years, but more like, you know, watching from afar.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing, you know, what you have, you know, achieved. And yeah, so maybe we could start off, you know, with the same question as Christine. You know, were you always a believer?
Yes, actually, I was. I grew up. I wouldn't say I grew up in a Christian household. I have to admit this. I think my mom is watching this, but you know, at the time when my brother and I were growing up, so basically, to get both of us into St Andrews, which is an Anglican school, my parents started going to St Andrews Cathedral. You know, so we got baptized and everything, and then we got into the school. You know, but because of that, I think I would say my parents were not strong believers, but at least that planted the seeds for the rest of us, myself, my brother, and you know, so I think everyone has gone through ups and downs with their faith and all that. Yeah, so I mean, to answer the question, yes, I've always been a believer, you know. But of course, there are always questions. You know, you have questions about, you know, your faith,
Yeah.
about things that happen around you. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe, and you know, fast forward, I think I saw on social media, and I was really amazed about this. Like, you were, and I'm not sure if you still are attending Bible school.
I'm doing a course on theology.
Wonderful.
I mean, for those who are not aware, Theo is God, lah, right? You know, so basically it's a study of. I mean, if you don't break it down, it's a study of God. So, but basically, it's just different classes. They have like philosophy. They have Christian philosophy, and stuff like that. It's under the umbrella of the Catholic Church. So they have things like sacraments and stuff like that as well. Yeah, but it's basically I'm doing that for like a couple of years actually.
Wow.
Okay.
So
Amazing.
it's okay. It's actually a product of having questions and wanting certain questions answered.
Yeah.
You know, so we just kind of like want to delve a bit deeper and find out more. You know, whatever we can find out. I mean, we know so little about God. I mean,
Yes.
honestly, you know, there's just so much. You know, we can learn. You
Yeah,
know,
so I think that's the beautiful thing about our faith, that it's not like you cannot question. You can question, and if you have any doubts or any curiosities about the faith and how it works, why certain things are the way they are in the world, I just encourage everybody to go and ask questions, ask the believers around you, and if they don't have the answers, there are so many other ways to get that information, be it, you know, even online, you know, or go to the nearest church. Now that we are all, most of us are still worshipping online, right? All these churches are available for you to reach out to. I'm sure there are a lot of people who are very happy to answer any of the questions that
exactly.
you have. Yeah.
And I think when I saw the post on social media, like you were having classes on the weekday and then flying off to play the
Yeah,
concerts,
it was,
and it must have been.
It was a bit crazy
tiring.
because when I first started on the course, I actually took half a year off. It's okay. So basically, it's they have a certificate program,
Right.
which is 6 modules to begin with. So I've finished. You can kind of stretch it out over 3 years, lah. So you can do 1 module per semester. But the first year I did all 6 modules at one go. And the first half year I just didn't work. I just kind of took a sabbatical on my own and that was in 2018. For the first half year, just do nothing. Then towards us, so I quarantined myself, like, in a way, self quarantine.
already started
Started
practicing.
self-quarantine,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I practiced already. I practiced already. But of course, obviously, by the end of that the first half of the year, I was like, my savings were like, okay, you know, I have a family, you know. So it's like, okay, I started like taking up work again, and then we happened to be going back on the road anyway. So with Angela Chang, so it kind of worked out, you know. So I kind of just pull back on the classes that I had, because you can kind of adjust how much you want to finish up in a particular time frame.
Wow, but that must
Yeah,
have been a big, you know, a bit scary or so, but you know, just so much.
Yeah,
to
actually,
learn
we
from
can
you.
I can just talk about that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with this whole COVID thing, right? I think I have a slightly different perspective on it as well. I think if it's like 20 years ago when I was like, we were starting out. Okay, I mean 20 days ago when we were starting out.
Yes, 20 days.
20 days ago we were starting out. You know, like I think my perspective is a bit different. I would have been like really worried because when SARS hit, I was already gigging.
Right. I think it was 13, 17?
2003. When
17
SARS
years
hit,
ago.
I just got married. You know, my wife was pregnant actually at the time, so I was actually jobless. I was working in a few clubs, and just shut for at least a couple of months, 2-3 months, 3-4 months. It was a much shorter period, but even then it was kind of worrying because I wasn't doing anything much else.
Yeah.
You know, so I kind of have a different perspective in the sense that maybe because I'm a bit older now,
Yeah.
so younger now, older now. So basically, I think I agree with you guys that basically I think for a lot of us, I think the foundation has to be the faith. You know, I like a lot of these kind of proverbial kind of sayings
Yeah.
like you know, you always read that you know, people will say like, you know, nobody wants to wish to spend an extra day at the office on their deathbed. You know,
Yeah.
it sounds very morbid, but which is
It's
true. You know, it's
true,
like, you
yeah.
know, so you want to spend time with your family, your loved ones, and doing certain things that you want to do.
Yeah.
So I do have that perspective. So when this whole COVID thing hit, I have to be frank with you, I wasn't very worried. I wasn't very worried because we all do know that he provides. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
really honestly, it's
Amen.
like that much I can say that about my faith. I think it's rooted enough that I know that he'll provide. So
Yeah.
I wasn't too worried lah. You know.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I think the one identifying factor, we were talking in our cell group that, you know, his gospel is peace. The currency of his love is peace, you know. So even in any circumstances, it's not linked to external circumstances, that peace. Everything else can be crumbling and whatnot, but you know that your heart is aligned with his will for you when there's peace in your heart despite the external circumstances. Yeah, so I think that's a very good measure of, you know,
I think I can
where
mention
we are.
something else as well with regard to this. I think we always forget that we have to kind of do His will. You know, we will pray for something. Why doesn't He answer my prayers? You know, because I think a lot of us, definitely myself included, sometimes when we pray, we ask for certain things. We are kind of treating Jesus, we're treating God as if He's like some kind of tribal, like please grant me this wish. You know,
Yeah.
like you know, give me this. You know,
Yeah.
like you're going. You
The
know,
genie.
yeah, like genie, exactly.
Yeah.
You're treating God like a genie, but He's not that, you see. So a lot of times when you pray for something and then your wishes are not granted, there's a reason why, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the wrong time. Maybe He's bring you something better later on down the road.
Yeah.
As in, you know, when one thing that really struck me a lot, that I have a lot of questions, right? So, when the tsunami hit,
Yes.
in 2011 Japan, I was actually quite shocked that it happened, because I mean, to me it looked like a flood, you know. It's like I said, I thought you said no more flood, you know. It's like a flood where it's like just swept everything
Yeah,
away, you know.
yeah.
People like just within 1 afternoon, how many thousands died.
Yeah.
So for a long time I questioned that. I said like, why do you let this happen? You know, you promised no flood, you know.
Yeah.
So there's something that kind of one of those unanswered questions I had for a long time. And I brought this up to some of my friends before, so they know what I'm talking about. So at some point, right, we're always flying, right? So we're always watching like the whatever's on
Yeah.
on screen, right?
Yeah.
So they're always like documentaries and everything. There was one time we were on this flight a couple of years after that. I think it was like 2015, 2014, 2011 was when the tsunami happened, right? So it's a couple of years later. So there was this Japanese documentary. It's an NHK documentary. So there were like English subtitles. It was like a 50-minute documentary. You can actually find on YouTube. Maybe I can give the link later on. So it's actually about this telephone booth that's on top of a hill. I don't know, is it too long a story to tell?
No, please go ahead.
So there's this telephone booth on the top of a hill.
Yeah.
And then it was put there by I think this farmer who years ago, just I think his cousin passed away or something, and he just wanted a way to communicate with, just like, you know, but the phone is not hooked up to anything, just
Right.
a phone booth
Like a
with
symbol.
it's like a symbol, I
Yeah.
guess. I mean, I think most Japanese are not Christians, so they just maybe some kind of I don't know, some way of they are thinking of they can communicate with their. So what happened was, after the tsunami hit, right? So this area was actually in that tsunami hit area, but it was because it's upland, so it wasn't really much affected.
Yeah.
So the land was quite open lah, so people were coming to use the phones. And then so after when the tsunami hit, right, people heard about this phone, so they were coming to actually use the phone to talk to the loved ones who died in a tsunami. So basically, this document was about these people coming to use the phone, and then basically the document showed what they said. Where are you now? Where are you now? Kind of thing. It's kind of sad, lah.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was that because I mean it's not a Christian documentary, but because of the stories that came out of that, right?
Yeah.
Like for example, there was this kid, 17-year-old kid. So I think the family wasn't doing so well spiritually. I mean, as in, I think the family has a lot of issues and everything. He has two younger siblings, and then whatever. And then his dad, for example, is like a truck driver, and they live like 200 kilometers inland. They're not even near the coast. But for some reason, right, that particular day, right, his dad was assigned to deliver something in the coast. So his truck was swept away.
Oh no.
Yeah. So this boy got really upset, and then he kept questioning why for off,
Of all days.
So he heard about the phone. So he actually traveled like to look for the phone, and he found the phone.
Yeah.
So eventually he brought his whole family to use the phone. So and the family grew closer because of that. So so my point is that there were a lot of these kind of stories in this documentary that, so in a way that kind of, I guess I felt that was the way God was speaking to me to answer my question about why he let the flood happen, because we do not know his ways. Maybe certain things that were like, you always question why do babies die, for example, like there's no reason why, like
The
you
injustices.
you bring this person to life and then the baby dies,
Yeah.
So I question about that all the time as well. So this documentary kind of in a way answered a lot of my questions about. Then I realized, yes, it is true that it's in this time and not our time. We have to relearn that.
Yeah.
Basically, a lot of time our prayers are not answered because maybe it's preparing us for something better.
Yeah.
Or
Amen.
teaching us
Yeah.
patience or something. And then just want to add one thing. I think a lot of times we forget that when we pray, right, we're actually not changing his mind. We are praying maybe to change our minds about something.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I mean, I like this kind of proverbial kind of like
Yeah.
sayings. I
Well, it's
always
true.
think about these kind of things when I read about this kind of wow, that's quite powerful. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of times we are like praying, or like, grant me this,
Yes.
grant me that, grant like a genie, But at the end of the day, actually, we are praying, for ourselves to understand what is His will, what do you want me to do,
Yeah.
Rather than what can you do for me,
Yeah. So
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think sometimes I also question, like, especially when shootings happen and these like terrible incidents happen, to really go back to knowing God's character and knowing He is a loving Father who, unless He is the one who has the big picture view, and we are so limited. We're like ants on the ground, and we're like this human looking down at the end, and not seeing what we can see everything, but I mean, God sees everything, but we don't. So we just have to have faith and trust that His plans for us are good. He is goodness itself. So
There was this song from the 90s. What if it went something like, "What if God was one of us?" Who was it? God was one of us. Who was it by? The girl with the
sure.
curly hair. So
Shane, go and Google that, and then you can put it in the comments.
Amy. Is it Amy something?
a singer from the 90s, right? Just hit. So the ironic thing was, initially I thought when she did a song, right, I thought it was irony, but it's not. You actually read her comments and something, she actually meant it. But I thought it was irony, because I always thought God was one of us. God was one of us.
Yeah,
he actually came down, he died for us. So
Yes.
he is one of us. So when she had the song, I thought, she's probably jesting in irony, but she wasn't,
Wow.
So I was like, okay, you actually meant that, like you had this anger in you that you're writing this song. But yeah, I mean, God was one of us, so He does understand our pain,
Yeah.
the suffering. It's not as if He doesn't know anything. That you can't say, He doesn't know. We are going through all this terrible pain, whatever, physical or mental or whatever. But He does understand.
And sometimes to even think that God came down as a baby, to be so vulnerable, it's crazy to me. Like to really say that. I mean, I would have complete trust in someone who has walked and really suffered the things that human beings go through, they suffer through. So yeah, I think this Christmas season is a it's a good chance to contemplate that and to be grateful for a God who is willing to, you know, die on the cross for us and to be born as a mere baby for us. Yeah.
I think it's been good reminder, you know, even with our cell group. And, you know, one thing I've realized lately that is a lot of times we pray for just the end result.
Yes.
You know, a good end result, but not enough times we ask God, like, give me the strength to maneuver through, you know, the next steps, the difficult steps. We just hope for the problem to magically go away.
Miraculous,
Yeah.
magical thing
You know,
to
which,
happen.
which
Can I
is...
just add one more thing? I
Can,
have one more
of
story to
course.
tell.
Yes, please go
No,
ahead.
please, as
Okay,
many...
so I've got this friend who
Yes.
husband and wife, they're very staunch Christians. There was one time the wife was waiting for a document for something like, you know, I won't say what it is, but so she was like, okay, no, I pray that it's what we want. So when she opened document, it was not what they wanted, you know. Then okay, she prayed again. So they reapplied for it, and then again she prayed the second time, like 1-2 years later, that okay, this is I pray for good news. I pray for good news. Then for some reason, just before she opened the document, she realized whatever the result was is good news. She just didn't see it that basically because if, let's say it's positive to it's positive to what they want. Okay, fine. But if it's not, maybe it's good news because again there's some plan down the road for them that they don't see it. So it is. She pray for good news. It is good news actually.
Yeah.
So whatever the result is actually good news
True.
from the Lord. You know. So
Yeah.
this kind of things really sometimes.
Perspective.
Yeah, it's
the
perspective. A lot of times perspective and just understanding that we actually have to do the will of God. You know, not like praying to a genie asking for you know more wealth or whatever it is. I mean, if it is, it's a blessing. You know, but a lot of times I think people just looking for a genie. Basically, that's a very good way of putting it.
And sometimes God has a good sense of humor. So, you know, I think some of us, when we have a lot of gigs, you know, and we're tired, we're like, oh, I wish I have a rest day. And then God is like, okay, I'll give you a full year of rest. You know, but you know, but yeah, I think silver linings still most important, and our mentality, I guess, you know, the way we choose to view things. Like, you know, both of us will be sharing on next week's episode about our personal take homes and reflections for the year. And yeah, it's just about what we are scoring 2020 with. You know, what's the checklist?
yardstick? What's the checklist?
You know, if it's purely financial, probably not gonna score super well, you know, in that sense for many people as well. But I think if we adjust that checklist, I think we're gonna find that we were all very, very blessed indeed as well. So yeah, but thank you so much for sharing, and maybe we can pivot to a first song that you have chosen for us to perform, and maybe you can share more about it.
Okay, sure. Which one do you want to play first?
Up to you.
You decide. What do you decide?
Me,
Yeah.
I have out I Need a Silent Night.
Okay.
So
let's do
shall
that.
we do that?
Okay.
I love the lyrics in this song because it really talks about this period where people are so preoccupied with the Christmas presents, the Christmas buying, all of the tree, the decorations. And you know, what is the core message of Christmas? I hope we all remember that. And it's not about all these other external things. So let's go. This is a beautiful tune by Amy Grant called I Need a Silent Night.
One, two, three, four.
I've made the same mistake before. Too many malls, too many stores. December traffic, Christmas rush. It breaks me till I push and shove. Children are crying while mothers are trying to photograph Santa and sleigh. The shopping and buying and standing forever in line. What can I say? I need a silent night, a holy night, to hear an angel voice through the chaos and the noise. I need a midnight clear, a little peace right here to end this crazy day with a silent night. December comes then disappears, faster and faster every year. Did my own mother keep this pace, or was the world a different place, where people stayed home wishing for snow, watching 3 channels on their TV? Look at us now, rushing around trying to buy Christmas peace. I need a silent night, a holy night, hear an angel voice through the chaos and the noise. I need a midnight clear, a little peace right here to end this crazy day with a silent night. What was it like back there in Bethlehem, with peace on earth, goodwill toward men? There were shepherds out in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were so afraid. And the angel said, "Fear not, for behold, I bring you good news of a great joy that shall be for all people. For unto you is born this day a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Prince of Peace." I need a silent night, a holy night, to hear an angel voice through the chaos and the noise. I need a midnight clear, a little peace right here to end this crazy day with a silent night. To end this crazy year with a silent Yeah. A tune called I Need a Silent Night. And I thought, just at the end, just change a crazy day to a crazy year, right? Because it feels like a super long year for some people. For me, it felt quite fast, but the beginning of this year felt like a completely different year because it's just a different phase, a different state of mind. Yeah, and the whole state of the world was completely different at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, definitely. Really, really apt song for us.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people know of the Christmas Carol Silent Night. So, but this is just the lyrics are great and good reminder for all of us as well. And let's jump into the comments.
Yes, we have William who said, "We don't know what is the time that he planned, and it could be better." Oh, that's true. His ways are higher than our ways. And he says, "Yes, Silent Night. It is so calming. One of his favorites." And thank you so much. He's saying that William is saying it's very 80s, 90s style. Loved it. Sorry, I commented a lot. Please don't be sorry at all.
It's free. You can comment as much.
Yes, and we
you want.
love that you're interacting with us, because after the live shows have kind of gone, we missed that sort of interactivity. And one good thing about live streaming is that we can get to hear your thoughts. We can't really hear the thoughts of live show people in the live audience sometimes. So it's a good thing that we get get to hear directly from you. So thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Heng, and thank you to Joyce for your wonderful words. And thank you to Lucien for always having our back and to always be so encouraging and supportive from Brazil.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And I want to jump back into some questions and
Yeah.
actually for both Christine and Daniel. When we paired you guys up for this session, it was also gonna be sort of a indirect a session touring musician episode. And I think not many people have gotten the chance to experience that touring lifestyle. And we know it's a lot of weekends and a lot of traveling. For the both of you, have there been, what are the challenges that you face with that type of lifestyle and concert tours, and maybe does that affect any part of your faith? I'm guessing like it would be a bit harder to go to church on Sundays, so that's one possible difficulty. But any others that you want to share, and maybe how has your journey with God been a part of it?
Okay, I'll go first. Yeah, it's true that actually the touring and living out of suitcase lifestyle suits me a lot. Actually, because I love traveling. I love to be free. I'm that kind of person. It's like if you have a gig tomorrow in Iceland, I'm like, okay, let's go. I can just get up and leave. But for people with family, kids, and all that, that's another story. So for me, that's not a problem. But yes, it's true that if you can't go to church because you come back every Sunday night. If you miss church for years and years in a row, right? It does. You're lacking something. It's true. It's true. But thankfully, the touring family that we have, actually, most of us are Christians.
Praise God.
Kenzie, he brought me to his church. New Creation then, and so we always try to have like our own session, like on tour. We'll find it's actually very hectic, but we'll try to find a morning or a night where we just gather in one of our rooms, and we can just
we have our own cell groups.
we have our
wonderful.
own
That's
yeah.
so good.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's a very casual one. Because we open it to the rest of our friends, so we have other friends from other religions actually coming to join us because they
Beautiful.
just want to hang out. So we are not like actually doing very serious Bible study, anything like. It's more like sharing our lives together. And after that, we will end with a prayer. We're like, hey, who needs a prayer request? So we've actually done that, and it's been years. We've been doing that for many years.
I love that.
Yeah, it's awesome, and people don't know that. People thought that there you go, you're touring. That must be like
Partying
yeah.
every night.
We have our parties too. Our the alcohol and everything is free. Really, it's really free. There's if you want, there's a lot for you. But having done that and been there and done that, after a while you will know. Okay. Do you still want to go there?
Yeah. I guess after all, church isn't confined to the building, right? It's in the people and we're the body of Christ that, even if you're traveling on the road, there's like you said, nothing stopping you from gathering together and to share life together, do life together.
And we definitely do like prayer before we go up the stage. Sometimes we'll have the singer join us if the singer is open for it. We'll pray for you, so that you have a good performance. So we
Wonderful.
actually do that.
Wow.
I love that.
That is awesome. So we
Is-
all hold hands and we
yeah.
just do that.
Beautiful.
But is that the norm? Have you seen?
Other people do it, is it?
Like
No, it's just
Yeah.
what we do
Okay.
as this team
Okay.
because
Oh, that's great.
this Singaporean team we have, this particular with Kenzie and all that, we're very close. We're like family outside of the touring aspect. So we do meet up and gather. I'm not sure about other.
Some of the other groups play soccer.
They're close too.
Yeah, they're close to in
we
their
don't
own
know
way,
what they do,
Well,
but
they play soccer.
Wonderful.
That's their way of,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
But
that's
the
amazing.
Singaporeans, I
Yeah.
think they're very family based. We are like family to each
Yeah.
other.
That's so
So
good to
that is-
hear.
I guess that really
precious.
helps, lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Daniel, any stories from the road or?
Okay, I have to say
Sharon.
though, I don't know if Christine actually knows, but there are some cities that we go to, right? In the last few years, especially, right? Like, the examples I can give is Taipei, definitely Taipei. When we went to Australia, what was that? So long ago. Last year, right?
Canada.
Canada, that was last year, right?
Yeah, I know.
Wasn't this year, right?
It was just a year ago. Yeah.
Crazy.
Was
Because
more
we
than a
went
year
in
ago.
January
Yeah, January last
2019.
2019. Yeah.
Oh.
2019. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe you didn't realize. Actually, on certain mornings or certain days, right, when we are not doing anything, I did go look around for churches. I was googling and
Nice.
looking. I mean, okay. I mean, I go to a Catholic church to worship, lah. So basically, Catholic church, basically you just hop into another Catholic church to attend mass,
Yeah.
whatever. So I actually did that during when we were on the road, just quietly on my own. I find that
Right.
there's a mass like at a certain
You
time.
need some quiet time.
Yeah, quiet
Turn
time
on
basically,
Z.
and there were a few times just outside our hotel there was a church
Oh,
or something.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Then you-
So I did do that quietly on my own, just once in a while, just
It's wonderful.
yeah. So I guess I don't know if that's a story, but basically
It is,
yeah,
yeah.
quietly just
Yeah.
look for
That's his way of like
Quiet,
having
yeah.
your own quiet moment
Yeah.
because
I'm-
you're always with a bunch of people talking non-stop.
True.
Some
Yeah.
people need to be by themselves to
Yeah.
rejuvenate. You
Yeah.
know.
yeah. I have to say that actually. I don't say this a lot. I'm a very introverted person,
Yeah.
so I'm the type who really need like a lot of quiet time to
Yeah, right.
rejuvenate. I mean, that's what you
Yes.
hear about like introverts and
Yeah, it's
extroverts, right?
true.
So I
You're an
do
introvert
that.
lah.
I'm a
Yeah.
very introverted person.
We are
so
Yeah.
opposite lah.
yes,
Obviously.
yeah, but we get along, But yeah, yeah. So I a lot of times I will just quietly sneak away and just
Yeah.
find little times on my own
Yeah.
to.
Because we're draining you.
Yeah.
By talking a
Yeah,
lot.
sometimes, sometimes
Yeah.
like I'll quietly like exit from.
I feel you,
Where's
actually.
Daniel? Where's
We
Daniel?
understand.
Where's
We
the- oh,
understand.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We won't
So I-
force you, right? It's like
yeah,
to.
yeah.
to
They're all very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yay.
I think besides us, we'll all get along, like the crew and everybody.
Yeah.
So
It's such a blessing in itself, you
Yeah.
know, that
We-
that's able to happen.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Beautiful.
think one thing we learned from organizing these sessions and trying to find out who we can invite as well is a difficulty sometimes. We can be hanging out with musicians and performing with them for years and actually not even knowing whether
don't
they're
know.
Christians or
Yeah.
not.
Or don't know
Yes.
them well.
Yeah,
Yes.
they've
Besides the
never
music
shared.
That's
We
true.
never ask.
Yeah.
And then so that was something that we learned, and also the take home for us was to since we know that is that's been happening. Okay, maybe how can we share more?
Yeah, how
about
can we be more
our
proactive
journey.
also?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But so nice to hear that. I mean, everyone has their own way of coping, especially. I think for me, if I was in your shoes, I think the guilt aspect might start to come in. That I'm missing church every week.
Oh, okay.
Then that means I can't serve in church, or I'm not regular, and then I
You found like
Yeah.
you feel like your attendance book is a lot of zeros there.
a lot.
right?
Yeah, it's gonna be because but something to think about is then what am I judging on? Is it if I don't step in at 10 a.m. on Sunday, I'm not a good Christian or something like
There was
that.
this, sorry, I'm thinking of another saying also. There's
Yeah.
this thing that goes something like, when you go to church, I can't remember the first part, but the second part is about that you actually, when you go to church, when you leave church, you actually bring something with you. You bring the church with you to other people or something. I can't remember what the saying. So the fact that if you don't actually physically go to church, we're not going to get crucified for it. Basically, it's just that we go to church to worship, and then at the same time we bring a piece of that, and then we share it with somebody else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
And
community.
yeah.
communal.
So we bring that
Yeah.
that maybe that communal thing that we have,
Yeah.
and then we share with others.
It's
That's
true.
more of the idea, more
Yeah.
than
It's not limited to Sundays alone too.
Yeah,
It's
you know.
every day.
yeah. It's just
And it
every
won't
day.
be good also if you just only go for that 2 hours and then the rest of the
Exactly.
week.
The flip
Yeah,
side could
yeah.
be true. Yeah.
Yeah. So wow,
exactly.
but yeah, thank you. I've
Thank you
always
for sharing,
wanted
yeah.
that, and thanks for sharing, both very different, and I'm sure you've been part of the, hangout.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
hang
But-
out a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's nice that you find your own way to,
Yeah.
look for churches and all. So yeah, I think we're definitely coming down to the close of this session, and this is the second last session for the year. And actually, for those of you who have been watching all these past weeks, when it comes to next year, we're actually opening up the circle a bit wider. Beacon
Yes.
Live really started off with featuring musicians, local musicians. So from next year onwards, we're gonna feature musicians from overseas as well, and as well as non-musicians, people, actors, business people, and we want to get them to come and share their stories. And of course, there'll be still music. We'll still be performing the songs that we love and that our guests find really meaningful as well. So do look out for it. It'll still be on Tuesdays, and we'll be announcing the lineup for that really soon. And Daniel actually has one more song that he chose, and maybe you can share with us.
Can I just say something
yes,
off
of
tangent?
course.
Off tangent first.
No,
I'm looking at the
please.
name Daniel Chai. So my wife's surname is Chia. So
Wow.
I have been mistaken called Daniel Chia before.
Wow.
I just want to tell you this.
This is like high
happens.
level.
Yeah, high level. This is
This is
different
high level.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like as if it's not enough. There's Daniel Chai and
Wow.
Daniel Chia.
Yeah, when your
People
name
do call me
first
Daniel
appeared,
Chia
I-
because my wife's surname
Wow.
is Chia. So I have to say
And
this.
people have asked her like, oh, your husband is a guitarist. Right?
No, you got it wrong.
Not that one.
yeah.
I'm actually
time,
confused
yeah.
a bit also.
Yeah.
There's a cha around. Is that
Yeah.
who is that?
Yeah.
I can ask him.
And I
Oh,
think
so
there was
funny.
one like group chat. Don't know whether it was a gig that we were supposed to both do it or what.
You're
You know,
both there.
people got confused.
Oh, is
as
that
well.
right?
Wow, but I didn't
Yeah.
know your wife is.
Yeah, my wife's surname
Wow.
is Chia. So
Oh,
I have been
Wow.
called Daniel Chia before. Honestly,
Yes,
quite a
yes.
few times.
So guys,
Yeah.
if you're watching this is Daniel Chia and this is Daniel Chai.
Yeah. And if we both go to the US and play, I think I'll
Oh,
go crazy.
forget about
One
it.
chia already.
Chia,
They
right.
can't
Yeah,
figure out how to pronounce
Got
a
have
lot of
nicknames
the
like
time.
have like some kind
Yeah.
of
At least
So
not like
funny.
Z, TSU or
Oh,
know
that's-
some
that's
hard.
yeah,
That's hard,
different.
yeah.
Those are yeah or NG.
Oh, yeah, Ng is
oh, it's
hard.
just
That's a hard one.
Ningi.
Anywhere else, yeah.
All right,
So-
we have one last song, right?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
and-
Okay, so
yeah.
so both the songs I chose
Mm.
are Amy Grant's songs. So I love Amy Grant songs. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, she started out as a I guess a non-gospel singer, but along the way, I guess she just gravitated back to her roots. So she's been doing a lot of Christian albums. So I have a lot of her Christian albums. And she actually has a few Christmas albums. So much so that if you go Spotify, there's a greatest hits Christmas album Amy Grant, because she's like at least 4 or 5 over the last 20, 30 years. Yeah,
Amazing.
she's been doing Christmas albums. And it is two that chose actually are original songs.
Yeah.
And I always love them. I mean, someone commented it's very 90s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is true.
It
They're,
is
they're
true.
both from
It
the
is
90s,
90s,
actually.
yeah.
Both of them from the 90s, you
Yeah.
know, and I love them. I think it's nice arrangements,
Agreed.
good lyrics,
Yeah.
you know.
I
Yeah.
have to completely agree. Like, thank you for introducing this
Yeah,
to me, because the lyrics are so meaningful and she really hits the nail on the head.
Yeah,
You know, she
yeah.
captures that feeling. Yeah. So this one is called A Christmas to Remember, and I believe 2020 Christmas is definitely gonna be a Christmas that everybody won't forget for a long, long time. So we're gonna try to do this justice. A Christmas to Remember. Twinkling lights, a chill is in the air, and carols everywhere. Close your eyes, it's almost here. Candles and cards and favorite movie scenes. The smell of evergreen, as special as it's always been. And I have a dream or two, and maybe they will come true. Setting our hopes on a big snow tonight, we'll wake up to a world of white, and it's gonna be a Christmas to remember. Light up the fireplace of Nat King Cole, always sentimental, and don't you know that it's gonna be a Christmas to remember. I know it's true, time doesn't stand still. Many things can change, but we know some things never will. The memories we share, the songs we always sing, the mystery of life, the hopefulness this season brings. And I have a dream or two, and maybe they will come true. Setting our hopes on a big snow tonight, we'll wake up to a world of white, and it's gonna be a Christmas to remember. Light up the fireplace Christmas to remember. And with that, we want to wish everybody a very blessed, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year that's to come. We're only 3 days away from Christmas at this point.
Yeah, and we hope to see you guys next week. And we're actually gonna, one of our special guests is actually gonna be Chris Chua himself.
Yes.
He's been sponsoring these episodes, and we finally dragged him. to
And his
come
sister
in.
as well,
Yeah, and
yeah.
his sister. They're
Yes.
both going to be sharing, and we're going to have two friends who are going to be playing in the band to support us with the music. But both of us are going to be sharing our testimony
Yes.
as well. So we look forward to seeing you guys next week. And once again, thank you, Christine, and Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel.
And it's been a wonderful, blessed time.
Yes.
And we hope you guys will stay safe, have a great week, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yes, God bless. Bye.
Thank you.